the first thing I want to talk about, just because it is so somber, and I don't want to like end on that. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Uh, that was heavy.
Yeah.
That was fucking heavy.
Yeah.
Terrence, how did you
Yeah.
feel about Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, man? Like the trailer, how did you feel about it?
I mean, the trailer. I mean, obviously they have they have Chadwick's passing. They have to deal with, and there was well, not contra. Maybe I shouldn't call it controversy, but there was the debate last year as to like whether they should recast or whether they should leave it alone or whatnot, and I think it'll be interesting to see what direction they go in without recasting the Black Panther. So
What side did you come on that debate? Like, were you like, should they just let it rest, or should they like have recast it to you?
mm, I kind of was either or, to be honest. I don't know. I feel like if I lean one way or the other, somebody's gonna come after me. It's like, oh, you think they should recast them, you mother?
I mean, if you think what you think, fuck what everybody else say. Like that's your opinion. You're entitled to it. So like,
we know how opinions work.
I mean, accidents like assholes too. But I don't want to. I don't give a damn. Like I'm gonna say what I got to say. But I that's why I be asking y'all like, how do y'all feel? So like, did you think that they should have recast?
I don't know. I'm interested to see what they do without recasting. But in terms of like what I thought originally, I thought I kind of was on the fence about it. I didn't really have like a strong opinion one way or the other because I can completely understand why you wouldn't recast, but the other hand, I understand why you would, just because that's a pivot. That's a huge character that you're missing from the MCU now. It's like, especially the fact that there was so much setup for him, and everybody loves T'Challa, Black Panther, but at the same time, it's like those are some huge shoes to fill. Like I can't imagine any actor stepping into the shoes of Chadwick. And I know some will say like, oh well, we don't expect them to be Chadwick. Yeah, you say that, but as soon as they step into the shoes, you're going to compare them to Chadwick. It is what it is. So
Facts.
yeah, I can see the argument for recasting, but I can also see the argument against it. So they're probably better off just leaving it as is. I'm very curious to see if they go the route of making Shuri Black Panther. I know that in the trailer, like toward the end, they showed a shot of like somebody in like a Black Panther suit. I don't know if that's her or somebody completely different. I know they have the villain for this one. What's his name? Namor? Namor?
Namor.
Right,
Yeah, Namor. I know a little bit about his backstory. I know pretty much. Wasn't there a point where he pretty much like blew up Wakanda or something, and like him and Black Panther have just always had beef with each other? Isn't that right?
Namor attacked Wakanda a while back. Like I don't want to like be wrong, but what I know for sure is I believe like, and this is gonna take us to a brief tangent. Namor at one point got like the powers of like the Dark Phoenix or the Phoenix. Uh, there was a story Avengers versus X-Men, I think in 2012, and like Namor got the powers of like the Phoenix, and it corrupted him. He was like one of we was one of 5 mutants that got the powers of the Phoenix, and it corrupted him. And he's already kind of like an anti-hero to begin with, so like it didn't take much to push him over the edge, and so he wound up attacking Wakanda, and that's kind of started a blood feud between them ever since. So
Yeah. So curious to see how that goes. I guess with no T'Challa around, like I guess that's another aspect too. I'm very curious to see how they address the death of Black Panther. Like, are they going to give a reason why he passed away? Was it something sudden? Did it have to do with the snap? I mean, he came back from the snap, obviously, but I've, I'm gonna have to see the movie. Like, I do really want to see the movie. I mean, if anything, just to see where the story goes with Black Panther. How they honor Chadwick's memory. It's definitely gonna be a tearjerker kind of going into it, just because we're always gonna think about Chadwick. And heck, even now when I watch MCU movies with Chadwick in it, it definitely you see it in a different light. Yeah, it hits different. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I remember in Infinity War, like when the snap went off and he says like, "This is no place to die," and then he suddenly disappears. It's like, man, that just is totally different now. But yeah, I'm not going to ramble on any longer. I do want to see Black Panther 2. I think it looks good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it when it comes out this year.
Will, how'd you like it? How'd you like the trailer, bro?
I really did. I really love that trailer because I see everything it did. I seen a lot of those events, plus the mural featuring Chadwick's or T'Challa's face. I seen the mural there, and I was just like, "That's a good way to kind of place him here, even though we know he's no longer here with us." And I want to see exactly like Terrence said, how they kind of write that. How are they gonna tell us how Black Panther passed away? And I'm definitely wondering who else is in the suit because I want to know at least at this point, I'll say it like this. I wonder is that another person in the suit, or is that some sort of like event that they're gonna show us that may have happened before Black Panther's death?
Ooh,
Hmm.
good question. Because I
I
definitely
want to
like
know
Terrence. I
that.
was thinking it was like probably Shuri or something, but it could
Yeah.
easily be like a flashback to like what happened and what caused him to die in the Marvel universe. So,
Hmm.
Yeah,
good
and
point.
Yeah.
let's not
So
forget with these Marvel trailers now, they have it where they show like fake scenes that don't actually end up being in the movie. So you
oh
never know if
yeah.
it's you never know what might be real and what isn't. So yeah.
Good
Yeah,
point.
true. That could also be a thing, but it's something I'm thinking about too. I was like, is that gonna be flashback? Is that gonna be an event that happened beforehand? Will Namor have a hand in that? Will we
Mm.
see how he kind of just comes about and does what he does? Or will Shuri take up the mantle? Anything like that. I want to know. Like, I'm here to see the whole Shuri thing, even though we did have a bit of a debacle with her, with Miss Letitia Wright for like quite some time before we got on to where we at now. So I want to see how they plan that out with her still being in the movie and whether who's gonna be done in that suit. I want to know. So I love the trailer. I want to see the movie. Let's see if we get there.
Rakeem, what did you think about it?
Man, it was very emotional for me. So, in context, you guys know, like the day Chadwick died, it was a very big, sad moment for a lot of people. A lot of people, for viewers out there in the black community, Black Panther was a big freaking deal. It was like personification of what we've always wanted ourselves to be portrayed in cinema and as a hero. Perfectly personified. And Chadwick played that character to a T. And I remember the day he passed, there was a mural here in North Nashville. Same day he passed, they painted a mural of his face on a wall. Um, Beautiful. And seeing the movie trailer, that mural reminded me of the same mural that was made here in Nashville. So that got me kind of emotional. But in context, clearly they're paying a lot of respect to him, which thank you. That's exactly what I wanted to kind of see in this movie. Um, I'm interested to see like how they're gonna maneuver without him being there. Cause it seems like a part of this movie is gonna be without him being there. How do we the fallout from that? How do we pick up the pieces? How do we get our country back without his king for a while? And that's gonna be interesting, perspective. His sister being involved, his mother, the Warriors. I can't remember their names. I'm sorry, I always get their names
Dora
wrong.
Milaje.
Dora
There you go.
Milaje. Their representation in the movie. They're gonna probably have a more prominent role, although they already always had a prominent role, but they have a more prominent role now. And then at the end with the teaser of like who might be in the suit, I'm interested in that. I think it might still be Shuri, but they have so many different actors that if they wanted to just go a different route, I really wouldn't be too angry either way. You could do Lupita. You could do what's the dude's name? Um, Dog Nabbit. Winston Duke. We can Winston
Mm.
Duke's
Oh,
character. If he
M'Baku.
takes, yeah, because he's still kind of in there. Where Mbatu, I'd be fine with that. Either one's fine with me. I'm just happy when I saw the trailer. Like, it gave me what I wanted. Just due respect to Chadwick Boseman, and then writing, the story of the fallout of Lost. 'Cause now they have to like losing someone of that magnitude in the story gives the opportunity for the writers to like kind of write the story of like how we deal with loss, how we
Oh yeah.
deal with losing someone who's a big figure, or how we deal with the issue. Because the MCU deals with loss, but there's always like there's comedy, there's elements of getting things back. But this is a loss we can't get back.
Oh yeah.
He's really passed. So how they deal with that in the writing is gonna be make or break this movie for me. I feel like
Oh
they
yeah.
they really get the nuances right with this. They really do this story gradually. I know there's like some villains in the movie. I'm not familiar with who the villains are in this movie. I don't know who those people are. But how they deal with that's gonna make a big movie for me. So ultimately, I was pleased. I was emotional. I'll be very honest. I was very emotional seeing this. And I hope it does very well. I want this movie to do well. And I hope people come out to it just like the first time.
Oh yeah.
I don't think you have to worry about that. I think people are going to show up, like, definitely.
This shit, it very possibly, probably, will beat Black Panther 1 in terms
Yeah,
of sales.
I could definitely see that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
Oh
if it's
yeah.
and if it's good, oh my god.
yeah,
Through the stratosphere.
yeah.
So I'm gonna take y'all on a bit of a journey. I'm gonna try to keep it quick, but I don't know if I can. Uh, this is gonna be a little. I'm going somewhere with it.
All right.
So in wrestling, you have a lot of like moments, right? Like you have these
Mhm.
like because everybody knows wrestling's predetermined. It's not real, right? And
Right.
so when you can have something that feels real, that you like, okay, I believe this, it's one of the greatest feelings in wrestling. Every time the Undertaker wrestled at WrestleMania, you felt something because that streak was real. Whether he won or not, you didn't know, but the streak was real. Every time he went to WrestleMania, he won. And so it was an event to see, even as he got old, even as he slowed down, it was an event. The reason why it was an event was because you didn't know if they were going to finally tell the story of him finally losing. And so it mattered. Even as he got old, even as he couldn't wrestle and go the way he used to, it still mattered because it was something that they had built to make feel real. And like regardless of whether he won or lost, like when he finally lost, you can't undo that. That story has been told. And so here's the thing, this is where I was going. When it comes to loss in the Marvel universe, at any moment they can press a button. At any moment they can cut the right check. And like I don't care how bad, if you walked into Avengers Endgame and you cried when Tony Stark died, guess what? They can still cut a check and they can find a way to bring Tony back, if just for one movie. I don't care how hurt you was. If you was, I feel like Cap should have stayed. Well, guess what? They can have Cap back whenever they want. I was always on the side of if Chadwick has passed, do not recast him. And the reason why I was for that is because, like what Keem said, you can't undo this. Once you tell the story, like if you recast it, then it's just, oh well, it's sad he died. We moving on. But if you tell the story of this is how the Black Panther fell, you have now found something real. Like that you can't undo it because you can't get that character back. He's gone now. And like that hit the Black community in a way that not too many other things have in the last decade that has anything to do with like pop culture. That hit the Black community as a whole because he was our hero. We didn't get many heroes and he was our hero and he passed and it hurt. And so with this film, you have an opportunity to tell a story, not just to let us grieve a little bit, but also the journey of like how the people in that universe get over it, how the people that were closest to the character get over it, and how we have to move on without that character and without Chadwick. And so that to me was too vital a story to not tell. If you fuck it up, you know, at least you tried. At least you went in there and you had something, because like we always talk about how the MCU, I say people always talk about how the MCU is lazy and creatively bankrupt and all of that. This is not creatively bankrupt. This is this is the epitome of sticking to your guns, because you can't recast after you tell the story of him passing, because that now people are going to be like, bro, what was the point of you telling this story? You can't go back. So now you've done something that feels real, that is going to matter when we sit down in the theater. So like I'm for this movie. When I saw it, I did get a little misty eyed. You know what I'm saying? I Angela Bassett had that line, I lost my whole family. Have I not given it? Cold. That shit was cold. And there are so many characters in this film that are strong enough that I would like enough that could carry the Black Panther mantle, or they could decide that, we don't necessarily need a Black Panther. We're still Wakanda, and we are going to be strong in his name, and we are going to be strong regardless. They could do a lot. And I love that they had, they did have that moment of Ironheart. I'm a little iffy on Ironheart being so closely tied to Wakanda. Her name is Ironheart. She's inspired by Iron Man, and so it's a little weird. Like otherwise, like just make her shit. You might as well make her Black Panther. You might as well just be like, yeah, this was the sister of you. You just didn't know about. This is his T'Challa's sister, and she gonna be the new Black Panther. Like it doesn't make sense. I wouldn't be upset at all. Like if you're gonna tie her that close to Wakanda, I'm like, well, shit. It sounds like she's more inspired by Black Panther than by Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
His cousin.
You say what?
I'm his cousin.
I mean, shit. You can make her his cousin. Like you could do any of that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be against it. As far as Namor goes, I do hate that Namor is in it and T'Challa's not there. I don't like because there's such an enmity between those two. Like the moment that Namor went behind T'Challa's back and just attacked Wakanda, like that started a blood feud. Like there's a point later on, and we're gonna get into Secret Wars in a little bit. There's a point in Secret Wars, like a story that they're basically building towards, where the team, there's a team, and Namor and T'Challa have decided to put the differences aside because everything's gotten so big and so crazy and so wild that they need to put the differences aside. And then the second things go really left, T'Challa takes the first opportunity he can to fuck Namor because he was like, no, I didn't forget, and I'm still mad. And if things are going left, you're not gonna be one of the last ones standing. You finna get up out of here. And so, like, it's such a great moment to see him screw over Namor, and he deserved it not just for what he had done to T'Challa, but what he had done to a lot of people. And so, like, hopefully we can still get a version of that moment because it was so good, it was so powerful. Hopefully we can still get a version of that moment. So, other than that, like, I really love that trailer. I thought it was fantastic. Easily the movie I'm most excited to see since like Spider-Man 3, as far as Marvel goes. Mm-hmm. Like when I think of like all the Marvel movies that have happened since Endgame, was it No Way Home?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. No Way Home was like the one that I was like really excited. I'm like, okay, what are they gonna do? And then like since then, or really all the Phase 4 films, I've been kind of like, which is not to say they were bad, just to say that like going into them, my hype level wasn't that high. But I'm hyped as fuck for that.